Accessing epigenetic transformation with curated sound healing. What is the definition of meditation and its relationship to sound healing and epigenetics? Meditation is a broad term for different ancient practices that shift our consciousness from the ordinary waking state, releasing the outer objective world and tuning into our inner realm. Using specific sounds with particular patterns, tones, and rhythms as a system is an ancient meditation method of sound healing. The benefits of effective meditation, also known as shifting from ordinary consciousness into relaxed and heightened states, are significant for our physical body, mind, emotions, and spirit. When we regularly access restorative meditation states, there's an exponential positive impact that enhances and energizes our being at all levels and improves overall health. Later, I'll give you the specific areas that are improved by the regular practice of using specific curated sound meditation that transforms our consciousness and accesses the epigenetic responses. The transforming characteristics to identify of effective meditation. When we listen to certain frequencies, sound, and music patterns, these carry us into a receptive state called the relaxation response. This is the meditative state. And when we're in the relaxation response, there are simultaneous positive changes in brain waves, heart rate, and respiration. In curated sound listening, another element that makes accessing this state of receptivity easy is becoming entrained or resonant with the sound patterns. When we are in resonance with the exterior sound patterns, they change our responses internally, which is entrainment. The entrainment allows us to synchronize with the rhythms and patterns simply by listening. This resonance lasts until the composition is complete, till the end. The specific outer sound patterns hold the listener in this restorative and resonant space as a reliable and consistent experience to get all the amazing benefits of epigenetics, because accessing and sustaining the connection is easy and all you have to do is listen. Prior to understanding how we can influence access and positively change our epigenetic response, we were doomed with repression about how our parents and grandparents' illnesses predetermined our propensity towards their physical and mental illnesses as expectations and limitations for our entire life. Simultaneously, it was thought human beings did not have the capacity to learn or change after our brain physically developed. This perspective meant we were limited to an early age of growth and could not go beyond that stage, so we were stuck. This perspective also influenced our recovery and healing and our thoughts and expectations about ourselves. Now we know neuroplasticity is continuous when we engage in specific activities and behaviors throughout our lifetime. So keep listening to discover more about these activities and behaviors. Epigenetic responses occur above the way our genes respond to stress and trauma. And this means the activities and behaviors that are listed in this video below are methods that change the responses that lead to mental and physical disease. Change it from getting disease instead of releasing cortisol, the stress hormone that creates inflammation. And healing trauma and stress is key, because stress and inflammation are underlying causes of physical and mental illness. Practices that change our responses that have been held in the neurological system from the past changes the trajectory of degradation of our system. And these same practices continue to change our responses to the stressors when we incorporate the curated sound healing practices into our regular routine of life. Recognizing the governing system, our epigenetic system, is the first step in knowing we can create substantial change within our body, mind, emotions, and spirit. That's empowering to know. The next step is having a method to access the governing epigenetic system. And that is what this video is about. So what are the effects of epigenetic practices? A component of using regular practices that shift our consciousness into restorative alpha brain waves, accessing the relaxation response, and positive changes in our heart rate and respiration are the following. First, there's telomere lengthening. The telomeres are at the end of our DNA and show the wear and tear of stress, environmental exposures, how we take care of ourselves, traumas, behaviors, and what we consume. When we practice sound healing meditation methods, there is a lengthening of telomeres instead of wear and tear. The immune system support. This is another area. A component of using regular practices that shift our consciousness into restorative alpha brain waves is the immune system is boosted. This is the opposite of how stress contributes to erosion of our immune system. And this creates more physical resilience when we are accessing these states of consciousness. Brain health increases. There's a reduction in inflammation. The presence of inflammation is the underlying condition to depression, anxiety, and a list of physical and mental illnesses. When we engage in practices of sound healing meditation, we are diminishing the production of cortisol and increasing dopamine and serotonin and melatonin, the feel-good chemicals. These changes also benefit the release of trauma in the neurological system. There is an improvement in cognitive function, memory, focus, and performance. There is also improvement for people who have pain, which include lessening of pain, control over pain instead of pain having control, and lessening of depression with pain. And another area is mental and emotional well-being. Our thoughts and mood are influenced by stress, trauma, exposure to different traumas, the food we eat, and the nutritional content or lack of nutrition, social relationships, and exercise. When we access the relaxation response and the brainwave states that are simultaneously changed into alpha brainwaves, changes in our heart rate and our respiration, there is a release of dopamine and serotonin, and this release lessens the production of the stress hormone cortisol, which also lessens depression and anxiety at the same time, while producing the feel-good chemicals that create mental and emotional regulation. Another area is that it builds resilience. When we use specific methods to access alpha brainwaves and deeper, which is an epigenetic response area, when we change over into meditative states, we build resilience. Resilience is the ability to navigate successfully through challenging times and upheaval. Resilience is also inner strength and the ability to solve problems. Components of resilience that may be considered more advanced are insight development and intuition. Intuition is a deep part of trust and knowing. We can change ourselves, expand and heighten our awareness, and release stress and cortisol, the stress hormone, which produces inflammation. And inflammation is the major contributor to addiction, lack of good sleep, depression, anxiety, and common physical diseases like heart disease, the leading cause of death, cancer, diabetes, compromised illness, schizophrenia, bipolar, dementia, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. As you can see from hearing those different conditions, these are the most prevalent concerns of our time. Reducing stress and inflammation and healing trauma are key to our transformation. But there is also an expansion of consciousness and interconnection and deepening to our own spiritual awareness. The benefits of using curated sound healing alone and sharing with others. We can use particular sound healing systems alone and get the benefits listed above through consistent and regular use. And inviting others to share the same curated sound healing listening experience is another method that brings positive additional dimension and experience that is beneficial. Another person who is not disruptive but supports and also benefits from sharing the experience can have exponential benefits. There's a shared resonance and calmness through the entrainment process. The ancient wisdom cultures knew specific rhythms, sound patterns, and tones are transformational and access healing states and are beneficial for individuals and groups of people. Empowering epigenetics and curated sound healing. We have the power to change our responses to our environment through the practices outlined above that are easy to do. When we engage in easy-to-use curated sound listening, we can allow our neurological system to release trauma responses, stress, and inflammation. We can also get better sleep, gain more emotional and mental balance, and boost our immune system. Besides these benefits, we are deepening our interconnection to our spiritual wisdom. This process helps us to develop our compassion and deter mental and physical illness. We have the ability to connect to the epigenetics that heightens our awareness as an act of empowerment for our evolution.